Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you know I grew up Triumph Village in the countryside. And I remember my grandmother used to rear a lot of what we call Creole fowl. I think the Jamaicans, they call it yard fowl. What we had the last 35 minutes is fluttering and flattering of a headless Creole fowl. The opposition represented in this National Assembly, as they will prove to the people of this country the next 5 years, is a barnyard of headless Creole fowls. Headless yard fowl. Every measure they condemn, they are intellectually incapable of putting a measure alongside it before the guy in his feet. Mr. Speaker, the honorable member just spoke about what we could do. The fact is, 18 months ago, they were in government. For 5 years, the honorable member spoke about free tuition at the University of Guyana. I dare remind you, honorable member, that your political entity over the period raised the University of Guyana tuition fees by 45% over a period of 3 days. So you come to this house and you pontificate on what should be done. You had your opportunity to do that. You squandered it, and that is the reason why you will grow old over there in the seats of the opposition. The honorable member spoke about care for the children. Our government took away $1.6 billion from children and utilize it to buy more food for people at the office of president. The nation was really reminded that this government took away a grant subsidy for elderly people, and she talked about the pension, where it should have gone. When they came into government, they took away this subsidy from the elderly people for water and light, and if that was not bad enough, they added 14% VAT on light bill and water. The wannabe opposition leader, Mr. Speaker, wannabe opposition leader is trying to lecture this government about how to govern, and yet they're a spectacle to the nation, incapable of even electing or selecting opposition leader.
I listened to the honorable member, Mr. Roysdale Ford, this afternoon, an honorable member that I've known for half of my life. And what I saw there transformed was a completely different human being. I saw the hate, I saw the venom, I saw the vituperation, I saw the anger. Why? I listened to the personal attacks. Why? Is it that we are vacuous? Is it that we are inefficient? Is it that we are incompetent? So we have to supplement that with hate and diatribe and anger. I pity those who have to seek refuge in those facilities, Mr. Speaker. I am a Queen's College old boy. And let me say proudly that a Queen's College old boy will never borrow notes from a St. Rose's student. Mr. Speaker, long before we became involved, long before we became a petroleum producer, the honorable member was a major player in the oil and gas sector. The GRA has the wrong records, and he comes here and speak about an unlawful unlawful petrol republic. Mr. Speaker, what is he calling extrajudicial killing? Apparently, any person who died at the hands of the police is extrajudicial killing, and by some somersault of logic, the government is responsible. I called the members of the police force, and they provided me with the statistics of the persons who died in the police force from May 2015 to March 2020. 41 Guyanese died in the police force while you were at the hands of the police force while you were in government. Did any one of us accuse you of extrajudicial killing? Mr. Speaker, where Dr. Anthony, we really have to get this mental health bill quickly. Mr. Speaker, you had a litany of abrogation of the Constitution and violations of the rule of law. And I've made some notes. The President himself, Mr. Granger, led from the front, confiscating rice lands of farmers in Region 5, seizing the Red House from the Cherry Jagan Research Institute in the face of a 999-year lease, the Attorney General threatening to kill a judge in open court, the President directing the Police Service Commission and the Public Service Commission to halt promotions in violation of the Constitution, the President threatening the Chairman of the Public Service Commission, who was a member of the Judicial Service Commission, to resign or there will be blood on the carpet. Volder Lawrence announcing that they will only hire PNC members. The President unilaterally appointing the Chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission. The President and Cabinet refusing to resign after no confidence motion was passed against them in the National Assembly, and they refused to hold elections within 3 months as directed by the Constitution. And then they remained in office constitutionally for over a year illegally. And with the region and the world watched in anguish, agony and trepidation as attempts after attempts were being made to rig those election results. Guyanese condemned them. Every major organization in Guyana condemned their actions. The diplomatic community condemned their actions. Every major organization in this hemisphere condemned their actions. 100 governments across the globe condemned their actions. Yet they persisted with their fraudulent designs. They tried, Mr. Speaker, with Mingo, and they failed. They tried with Yolita Moore, they failed. They tried with the recount, they failed. They tried with the CARICOM high-level team that absorbed the recount, they failed. They tried with Lawrencefield, they failed. They tried with Messenger Jones, they failed. They tried with Eslin David, they failed. They tried with the Caribbean Court of Justice, they failed.
I heard the Honorable Vinsroy spoke about a passage in the Bible, and I can quote passages too, Mr. Speaker. So I reference John 10, verse 10. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. Let me go through and explain how they have destroyed this country from the very fabric. That is why I use the word seismic destruction. The closure of the sugar estate to put 7,000 people out of work was to put people at a diminished position where men cannot go home to their wives and say, I brought home income for the family. They have taken back lands from the forestry sector and shut that down, taxing even to the shingles that you use to do fences for your yard. That is the second thing. The third thing is a number of taxes. They've taxed the lifeblood out of people, over 200 tax. They've changed the schedule in the Value-Added Tax Act to make sure that the items that were zero rated, they put on taxes on them. They have also weaponized the Guyana Revenue Authority to go after and audit people in the private sector and increase their assessments and run them into bankruptcy. They have also created this sum effects with all of these actions that no new investor came into the period that they were in government. No person came. Mr. Speaker, in colloquial language, what they have done is lash people pot. That is what you see it in the countryside. They lash people pot. I want to address some of the issues raised by the Honorable Jarita Finance in her presentation. The first thing they spoke about was non-oil GDP of 4.6. I don't know if we don't understand economics or we don't know how to analyze an economy, but if you're going to speak on the economy, at least recognize realities. When the budget was prepared for 2021, nobody could have dreamed or had a glass ball, they could have peeped in and see that you're going to have a flood. That was not a 100-year event, it was a 1,000-year event. The entire country was flooded. You don't look into a glass ball and say, oh, we expect a flood. It is a natural occurrence and we have to deal with. She spoke about sugar being down. What she didn't understand is 35% of the standing cane was destroyed. 4,300 hectares of cane was destroyed. She doesn't understand that. And they don't understand when they come and they grandstand and they speak. They have to read. She should have read the budget, the honorable member should have read the budget as she accused my colleague. What you all have is a weak analysis of the economy, a very weak and novice analysis of the economy. This bunker strategy that the AP and UAFC employs doesn't work nowhere. It seems to me that they stick their head in the sand to reality. Now you have an issue about inflation. What is driving inflation? Don't we know they have a global supply chain issue? Don't we know there's a global supply chain issue? When a container from China and from parts of the world that are producing goods used to cost $3,300 for a 20-foot container, now it's $20,000. Don't they know that? If they don't know that, Mr. Speaker, they should read and research before they come to this honorable house and grandstand. Mr. Speaker, one of the most grotesque things that I just heard, grotesque is the word I use, is the 2% removal of withholding tax. They say that is for the boys. Mr. Speaker, these people really don't understand what they're talking about. I'm sorry to say, but I can't use the word nonsense in this house. But I'll use another word. Kangalang. Kangalang is the word. I don't know if the Kangalang, it's a Kangalang analysis.